Welcome back to Chiefs Studios. Glad to have you back. My name is Taylor Bell. I'm here with a special guest. As I said a couple of videos ago, we're going to be focusing mainly on Chiefs content. However, since the season's starting, I did want to run around the NFL and get perspectives from fans that know a lot about the teams. Again, I know as we follow our teams into training camps, a lot of the times we don't get news and or updates on other teams as well. So we have a special guest here, Coop. He is a Baltimore Ravens fan, and we're going to get the perspective of the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to look into contracts, the offseason acquisitions, injuries, and all sorts of stuff. Now, we are also going to every week we're going to have Coop on with us, and we're going to have another fan from another NFL team, basically doing the same thing, breaking down the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, all sorts of stuff. So that'll be a weekly series that we'll put out during the week. But let's get into the Ravens. Coop, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, man. Shout out to you for starting this up.
For sure. Now, I want to discuss kind of how our, I guess, relationship pause started. So we have a mutual friend, Kyle, who is like in the boxing world, as far as on the boxing section, TBS. Coop's also into boxing on YouTube, and also please go check out. I'll put a link in the description for his podcast About Nothing show. It's a really good show, and it's kind of like a Seinfeld effect, right? It's like Seinfeld is basically a show about nothing, but it's about everything, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what yours is, right?
Yep.
So we have a mutual friend, Kyle. I think I reached out to you for something in regards to YouTube, and kind of just, I don't know, took off from there. And I think one of the reasons, I think I told you the other day, one of the reasons I think I gravitated towards working with you on some of this stuff is because I've reached out to a number of people, and everybody says, yeah, I'll do it. But then, when it comes down to it, they're always busy. And look, I know everybody's busy, but you're the only person that's actually, working with me or working towards doing something or making content and doing stuff like that. So, it's I'm sort of new to not making content but producing a sports show. So I do appreciate you joining us. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, a very interesting team. And I know a lot of Chiefs fans, and I know I really haven't put out a lot of opinions on sports as far as on YouTube. I have a ton of technology stuff. However, I've said this for years, and I'm not just saying it because you're on. Obviously, Mahomes is my number one QB that I would take hands down. But Lamar Jackson is my by far number two QB. And if you've seen the quarterback rankings, I should have had it ready to pull up. But I think the QB ranking, he was down like at number 10 or 12. It just blew my mind. There's no other quarterback in the NFL I would have. If I could not have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson would be my number two pick, hands down. When he's healthy, and again, we'll get into it, but when he's healthy, he's absolutely dynamic player. So contract. How did you feel, Coop, about the holdout, I guess, so to speak? I know it really wasn't really a holdout at the end of last year, but first of all, do you think he sat out those games? Claimed injury, but do you think the contract had something to do with it?
I believe the contract had a lot to do with it. It would unmotivate me if I'm putting my body on the line every night for a team and they're not willing to give me what I feel like I deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they had the opportunity to get this contract stuff settled out before the season last year. But like you're making it like it's contingent on his performance this season if you want to give him a contract, and that's not fair because I've been putting in work for a long time now. You know.
Right. And the risk of injury, which he was sitting out for in the first place, is pretty big. Now, obviously, they have some injury insurance here and there, but it's nowhere near the guaranteed money that these guys get once you sign a big second deal. And he is. I mean, he is your. And look, the Ravens, they really didn't have another option. I mean, he basically had them by the balls. Now, because what else were they going to do, right? Are you going to trade him? Are you going to
Exactly.
what would you get for him? You're going to get pennies on the dollar as far as talent's concerned, you know?
And we've seen it time and time again where an athlete banks on themselves for their big contract next year, gets injured, and now it's over. We've seen it in basketball, football, like so. Get paid while you can.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I thought that towards the end of the year, obviously it was he didn't really say much. Obviously there was a couple tweets here and there, but it kind of looked like that's what he was doing. Now, how do you feel his mom being his agent?
That's the thing that I feel like he wasn't part of the boys' club. Because the agent gets a big cut. The agents are most likely in bed with these owners that's making the market fair and all kind of stuff. So when you put that into play, his mom's his agent. The money's not leaving the family. Like it's just a little. It probably had a big part to play with it.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's the case. I'm a strong, very strong proponent of. Look, there's a couple of players I know who is his own agent. D Hop.
Mm.
He is his own agent now. For these players that are not all stars or all pros, that may say that may sign a 10 or 12 million dollar deal. Look, what I'm getting to is I would be my own agent. I don't care what anybody says. I think agents get what, 5%, somewhere around there, maybe 3 to 5% of the deal. 3 to 5% of $100 million is $3 to $5 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just giving that away. Now, I know they do help negotiate contracts, and like I was saying, for the mid-level players, the agent may actually help negotiate a few extra
Yeah.
dollars here and there. But for the big contracts, I'm doing all my own negotiating. But you're right; it's definitely a there may have been some blackballing from some of the agents. Maybe
Mhm.
bitter. His old agent may have talked behind his back. Who knows? But now let's look real quick. I wanted to do a screen share of his contract since we're talking about it right now. Let me add this to the stream. I pulled up the salary caps for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, they actually have a decent amount of cap space left. And we'll get into this a little later, but since we are talking about money, Lamar Jackson's contract and how they split this up, it's these general managers have, 3, 4, 5 assistants that just work on the cap alone. Because I was looking at this earlier and I was like, God dang, like just everybody's got a whole different base salary, different prorated bonus, and just
Right.
all sorts of stuff. It's just amazing how they can put this all together. And speaking of cap space, I'm going to get into some of the Chief stuff with the Chris Jones holdout. I don't know how they're gonna sign him. I honestly don't, because I hear a lot of fans saying, "Well, just sign him, just sign him." I'll show you in a little bit. I just don't know how they're gonna do it. But
Mm.
so the contract was, let's see, what was the total? I guess I can click on them. It was 180. I think you got. Let's
Oh,
see,
it
where
was
is it?
260 total. 185 guaranteed.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Right there. Man, that's crazy. So that's a
That
big contract. Now, are they? Well, check this out. Look, before we get into the other players, is he going to make it all 17 weeks?
I believe. Um, I believe he'll make it. I believe that he's going to take his body serious. He's not taking too many risks outside of the pocket because he has throwing options now, so he can avoid a lot of those hits and putting his body at risk.
Right. And his throwing has actually gotten a lot better. I've watched quite a bit. Every time I can catch a game, I watch it just because I love watching him play. His throwing motion, his throwing mechanics, has gotten more accurate, down the field more accurate. His deep ball is pretty improved. So the less running he can do, the older he gets, the better he's going to be. And he knows that. The Ravens know that. But what makes him so dangerous is the threat is always there, right?
Yes.
He's the fastest guy in the field. It's like Mike Vick 2.0. However, I think Lamar Jackson's more gifted than Michael Vick. Now Vick probably could have maybe thrown a harder ball as far as velocity,
Uh-huh.
but just overall talent, I definitely think Lamar Jackson's. But Vic was just 10 years or too early. He would have fit perfect in today's NFL. But
Right.
yeah, I sure hope he stays healthy. Who's their
Lamb Jackson
backup? I
just
didn't even see.
he's a lot more accurate. Um, man, I feel like he's going to surpass Michael Vick in his career, probably early on. Like
Yeah,
he's Vick's, I guess you can say, predecessor of the black quarterback who's mobile and really good at throwing. But I think he's going to surpass Michael Vick.
yeah. I sure hope so because man, I'm certainly rooting for him. I really like him. I know there's I referred to a couple of those tweets that he put out. I know some of those are because I know he did one in his car driving real fast, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, please don't do that. I'm sure. Look, he's young. I've done a ton of stupid stuff.
Right.
So Lord knows if I had that much money when I was whatever 24, 25, I probably I can't really blame him too much, but he'll learn from that. There wasn't much after that, so you live and you learn. But yeah, I cannot wait. I hope he plays all 17 weeks. Just a phenomenal player, really good team, and I'm sure they will be in the playoffs, and hopefully they meet the Chiefs. If they do, we'll have to have a big week leading up to that. But with the big contract, did it leave much money for other players? I know y'all signed OBJ. Um, Now, looking at his contract, they signed him for $15 million for a 1 year deal. Was there any second year option? I don't believe so, because looking at his contract, I didn't see any second year option.
I don't think so. I think his this is basically like to see if you still got it or not. Like,
That's a lot of money. I know that's more. I think the next closest team I saw was maybe at 9 or 10 million a year. So they or maybe it's a little more, but the Ravens definitely overpaid. I don't know if I had a gun to my head, I would say he's done. But the threat of him might be enough to free up some other receivers on the other side to get them open. He's always going to be a threat. Just the name alone, he's going to garner attention from the defense.
I don't think he's
Um,
done. I
you
think
don't think so?
he was having a good showing out there in L.A. with the Rams. Second to Cooper Cup. It was Cooper Cup team, so
That's
you kind
true.
of take the back seat. And then he would have been a Super Bowl MVP if he had not tore his ACL.
Right. Yeah, he was having a phenomenal game up until then.
Yeah, and then he
And I
just
guess I guess I guess you're right. I shouldn't say I think he's done. I guess the main thing is his knee that worries me. But look, it's completely healed by now. And knowing him, if you he's ripped. Like I saw him at practice the other day and he looks like he's in shape. So maybe saying he's done is premature obviously, but I guess it's we'll just have to wait and see. But he
yeah,
probably has something left. Look, sitting out a year may be good for your body. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
if you're an NFL player, God, they take so much punishment. Sitting out a year may actually do his body good as far as staying healthy. So,
I hope so too
what
because
are
it was a non-contact injury. So I hope the knee's just
right?
like, yo, you're doing too much on me. I hope it's not going to go down again. But we
Yeah,
have a real good
that's
receiving
right.
core this year also. So
Yeah, I was looking at the receiving core. It does look like a pretty good group. Who else do you think is the number two spot? Is he gonna be a number one wide receiver? Is he gonna be the number one option?
I
You
think
think?
Odell.
OBJ.
I think OBJ will probably be when Bateman comes back off an injury. I think he'll be number one until Bateman comes back, and then we have Zay Flowers and also Aguilar from Philadelphia. He
Yes.
won a championship with Philadelphia, but I don't have any faith in him. But I believe Zay Flowers is going to be real good, man. So hopefully OBJ
Yeah.
will be the number one option since he's healthy now, and then Bateman will come back in the lineup in a few weeks and get it together.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's the thing. Going back to Lamar Jackson with that running threat, you don't have to have. Of course, you do have to have talent, but I'm saying like absolute elite, top five wide receivers in the game to be successful. You just got to be able to catch the ball, and obviously, at that position, that's a given. But what I'm trying to get at is Lamar Jackson for the defense creates so many issues. Just the threat of running those play action, those naked boots where they roll out. The defense is gonna suck in or pause because Jackson's running, and then boom, the wide receiver's wide open, and you just toss it to him or throw a deep ball. So I think they'll be fine at wide receiver.
And then we got our
Again,
tight end,
so
Mark Andrews,
dynamic.
also.
Marking,
Got
yes, yes. Yeah, it is a pretty good. It is a pretty good wide receiver group for sure. What about running back? I haven't heard much of the running back.
we got Melvin
Um,
Gordon the third, man.
oh, that's right. I
He's
totally
coming off some
forgot.
down
Somehow,
years.
yeah,
I
I
hope
can't
he can
believe
get it
that.
together.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do. Well, and Melvin Gordon from Los Angeles, correct?
Yeah, the Chargers.
Yes, the Chargers. That's right. Yeah, so they got some decent players. In defense, you still got your inside linebacker, the All Star. Oh God, why am I drawing a blank? Ronnie. Lord have mercy. Roquan Smith. That's what I'm thinking
Rokon
of.
Smith. I'm mad we got rid of Marcus Peters because he's an Oakland guy. He's from Oakland, but he went on to play with the Raiders. So yeah,
Is he on the Raiders now?
yeah, he's on the Raiders now.
Yeah, he's Kansas City drafted him, and he's been bouncing around. He grew up in Oakland.
Yeah, he's from Oakland.
Where did he go to college? Oh, he went to was it Missouri?
I don't know what
No,
college he went to. I know what high school he went to, but not
got
college.
you.
Yeah, his dad's a
And
football
then y'all
coach
got.
in our city, also.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
well, that's cool. I had no idea. Now, looking at the rest of the roster, y'all got Justin Tucker, obviously phenomenal kicker, probably the best in the game. Yeah, the roster is pretty much stacked, man. This is going to be a good team. Oh, I was going to say if they can stay healthy, which reminds me, Rakia Sin, the defensive back for the Baltimore Ravens, literally right before we hit record, news came in. There was no structural damage. That the MRI showed no tears, no ligament damage, nothing. So it's thank God it's just a sprain, and they've said it's a, I guess, day by day, but he's probably going to set out the rest of the preseason. Those things take I don't know what, 4 weeks to get better, but he should be ready by week one. At least that's
Right.
what I'm thinking. So that's good news. You cannot afford a starter like him to go down. And if you didn't know, he went out of practice yesterday, which was Wednesday, and MRI this morning and this afternoon came back negative. So let's see. Yeah, this roster's stacked. Now, having a good roster like this, how many wins? Let's talk. Let's get to John Harbaugh. If you have a stacked roster, because like I said, I'm going up and down this roster. Y'all got some ballers on this roster. And some names just jump off the page. How many wins and or missing the playoffs would John Harbaugh need to get? Basically, is he on the hot seat? And if they miss the playoffs, what do you think would happen? Because I know he was kind of on the hot seat. What A year ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, man. John Harbaugh has been our coach since 2008. Got a Super Bowl in between there, but under 10, man, like we need to start making some adjustments. If he goes under 10 with this type of offense and that caliber of a quarterback, um, we're going to have to move on. I love him. I love him as a coach because he's a good guy, but under 10, you got to go.
Yeah, it's again a stacked roster, and I would probably agree. Missing the playoffs, aside from again injuries, we don't know, but I can give a coach a pass. If quarterback gets hurt, or there's certain little things, but for the most part, if your starting quarterback plays 90% of the season, only misses 1 or 2 games
Mm-hmm.
here and there, you should have no excuse, especially for the Ravens or Kansas City. The teams that are really, really talented got to make the playoffs. And then if you're super talented, you got to go, you got to get somewhere. You got to do something. But that Super Bowl win was huge for him. I do like him as a person. I've always questioned, though, the whole dynamics of him moving up from a special teams coach. Like, how everybody, all the teams are obviously going towards offense oriented coaches. I've always wanted, but see, he's smart because he hires really good offensive coordinators. I've always respected the Baltimore Ravens for doing that. They've always had good offensive coordinators, you know. So
Yeah.
let's get into their season. I want to check their season out here. I got on the screen the Baltimore Ravens season. Now, it looks like, what is that? The next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday you start the preseason with the Eagles. You got Commanders, Bucks. Now you start the year with the Texans. That'll be a win.
Right.
A lot of people have the Texans, at 5 or 6 wins. I don't see it.
I
I
don't
don't
even,
see it. Their team
just to go back to
sucks.
preseason, I don't think we've lost a preseason game in a couple of years. So I don't see us
Really.
losing no preseason games. Yeah.
Now, Sean McVay started the whole trend of not playing your starters during the preseason a couple years ago. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
like when OBJ was on the Rams. Um, what does Harbaugh do? How much does he play starters during the preseason?
Not a lot. Not a lot at all. Probably like you get a drive and you're out. I think preseason should be used for those guys that's trying to make the roster. Like I don't
Right.
think starters should be out there. If you know they're on this roster, don't risk injury or anything out there in the preseason.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's
Maybe the
no
last
point
game to
in
get some
putting
rhythm.
right. Yeah, but again, that's what practice is for. And even in practice, I know they do where they'll practice, they'll get with another team. I know that's become real popular in the last year or two, and they'll basically practice, with another team for a week and do drills against each other, stuff like that. I mean, you can pretty much tell if your starters are ready to go. Now, that's what I would do if I was a coach. I would maybe do I would still want them to get suited up, go through the pregame motions, maybe get a series, but literally, I wouldn't even put them in more than one series. And cannot risk injury. Plus, you want to see what you're trying to fill out the roster. You want to see what guys got because you got plenty of film on your starters. You want to see what your draft picks can do, your signings in the off season. So I completely agree. But that's interesting. So it looks like you have. Let's see. You're gonna have Texans, Bengals, Colts. I think those are all three winnable games. Even the Bengals, I believe you can win that game.
Yeah, I believe so too. Because
Browns looks like a
Barrow's
win.
out.
You think? Say that again.
Is Barrow still out?
He is currently, but
I don't know
I'm
if he'll
not
be ready for the
sure how many
start.
weeks would that be. So that's October. No, I'm sorry. That's September 17th. So that's basically 6 weeks
6 weeks.
away. He should. He was a calf strain. So theoretically, I guess it should be healed or better by then. I bet he plays in that game. At least I would hope so. But I'm not too high on them this year. Are they going to be a playoff team? The Bengals, yeah, but I just they lost some key players. So
They
you
might have missed
basically
their
have y'all
window.
can start. Yes, I think their window was the last 2 years, and they just couldn't hold Kansas City down for those seasons. Looks like y'all can have a pretty good start because check this out. Y'all could win. Definitely the Texans. I got y'all over the Bengals. Definitely over the Colts, Browns. I even take Ravens over Steelers. Now I
Those
know there's
division games get tough.
are hard.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. I was say, man, some of these games they look like a win on paper, but you know the NFL as good as I do, man. Any given Sunday you can lose.
Yeah.
Those division games are very hard. And
Ideally,
actually,
we'll
y'all
be
start.
5-0, but I
Yeah,
don't
on
know.
paper, 5-0. Actually, shoot, right here, y'all
Six,
could be
7,
7-0, 8-0. I
9.
mean,
So
oh
we
my
might got a
God.
little, a little, a little easy schedule. I'm looking at.
Yo, check this out. You're, to be honest with you, the first. Now, yes, like you said, the divisional games they are hard, and I understand that. But looking at the schedule on paper, they got a pretty nice schedule. The only very, very tough game I see is the 49ers
I was
on
just
Christmas
thinking
Day,
that.
on Christmas night. Because look, you got before the 49ers, you got Jags, you got the Rams, you got the Chargers, you got Browns, Bengals twice in the first few weeks of the first half of the season. Cardinals, y'all should win. Seahawks, that's a winnable game. Detroit's win, a winnable game. Titans. So yeah, all these are should beat the opposition, and
You
then the
should have never
49ers
showed me
is
this
the.
schedule because I'm putting in my parlay.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, man, we need a. I'm gonna put some money on the Ravens. I was literally just thinking that.
Man,
So okay, so they're over under for wins. If they play 17 games, in my opinion, I'll get yours in a second. I see them going 14-3.
I can
If
kind of feel that
all
unless
health aside, all health aside, OBJ playing, Lamar playing, I got them winning 14 games.
Mhm.
What do you
unless
think?
those
That may
last
be
games,
too high.
unless these last two games have playoff implications, I say we sit in those. So those are two losses. Uh, and yeah, I really think 13, 14 games. You know, you're gonna get
So
that sneaky anything can happen game.
yes. Let me look at Ravens over under wins and see what Vegas has them at.
Ten and a
Oh, they're
half.
at 10.5 wins. I'm gonna put some money on this.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
dead serious.
at plus 19, 20. Shit, that's some good money right there.
Wow. That's a steal in my opinion. Let me go back to that schedule. I can't believe they're at ten
Wait,
and a
is that
half.
2023 or 2024?
I googled 2023. Let me click on it just to make sure. Baltimore Ravens win total over under odds and
Oh yeah, that's
2023
that's for the
schedule
season.
insights. So yeah, it is for this upcoming year. Wow,
Mm.
that's amazing. Well, I know what I'm going to be looking to after this show. Put some money
Yeah.
on the Ravens because that's a lock in my opinion. But again, like you said, the health is something nobody knows. So that's the real. That's what you're betting on, right? In
Well,
my
even
opinion.
without Lamar last year, we made the playoffs though. Like
Who is their backup?
I can't think of the guy now. I think it's like Huntley or let me get
Yeah,
my.
Hundley.
He fumbled the ball on the last play last year and we lost, man. But
Right.
th-
Tyler Huntley.
oh yeah, Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
He doesn't make many
Yeah.
mistakes. He was out there playing good, man. So
Yeah, I watched
with
a few
those
of his games.
weapons,
Yeah, with all the weapons. He was decent. I saw him play more. Wasn't he with Washington? The
mhm.
Commanders. I believe so. Maybe the year before, something like that. But I've seen him play. He's decent. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm thinking of another guy, but yeah, I know exactly who this is. I thought he was a white guy. I thought he was a tall, lanky white guy.
No, nah.
Yeah, no, I've seen him play. So that's good. I like when teams have backup quarterbacks that are the same build because I'm looking at his height, his weight. Um,
Straight plug and play. Same guys, but
yeah,
one more
exactly. You don't have to
athletic.
change much. Exactly. I think that's smart. I think that's very smart for franchises to go get out a backup, go get a backup quarterback that's just like the starting quarterback as far as the play style, stuff like that.
Okay.
So,
Well, what about
so we got
the
to
Chiefs?
yes. So kind of what's been I'm not sure how much you've been paying attention with the Chiefs this year, or at least up into them to this season. But as you know, McCole Hardman is not on the team, and obviously Tyreek Hill is long gone, and Kadarius Toney, who kind of evolved as their number one receiver late into last season, he got injured on the first day of training camp. So kind of what we've been looking at and watching and keeping a close eye on is the wide receiver position. Now, you do have a number of young players
Is
that are
Juju
looking
still over
to
there?
get. No, he's not. And that's the thing. They lost him as well. Going into the year, you probably, minus Kadarius Toney, probably haven't heard much of these wide receivers. They're all young. Now they're very talented. In fact, they have a. I just put out a video here on Chief Studios about their wide receiving core, and let me pull up their wide receiving core right now. But again, they all look very talented. I think when Kadarius Toney comes back, I think he will slide into that number one spot. Um, but their wide receivers, that's a very integral part of the team that I'm keeping a very, very close eye on. Because they do have Sky Moore, and if you've seen, did you watch the? You probably didn't, but I'm gonna do a review. Chiefs fans, y'all know the franchise, quote unquote, came out. Kansas City Chiefs have their own YouTube channel, like all the others, but they do their own documentary, basically. So they document preseason. It's kind of like HBO's Hard Knocks, except it's all Kansas City. Kansas City produces it. They showed a lot of Skylar Moore. He scored a touchdown in last year's Super Bowl, and he's I don't know. This is the one position that I don't know how this is going to play out because going into the year, when you look at the roster, you're like, I really haven't heard much. Of course, there's some names that stand out, but you're right. There's no more Juju. McCall Hardman, who they drafted high just a few years ago, he's gone. Now, you do have Travis Kelce. He's probably the, I don't even know what you would call him, the premium tight end / wide receiver, because he's basically the number one wide receiver, even though he's classified as a tight end.
Right.
But as you know, him and Mahomes have such a connection that he can also get other wide receivers open. And now they also have a Kadarius Toney. Once he gets back healthy, he's very fast. So he's not the same build as Tyreek Hill. Different types of players, but he's small and he's fast. And they've been kind of bringing on those types of players. Now, they do have one player. Sky Moore. Yes, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You've probably heard of him. He played quite a bit last year for the Chiefs. They have Justin Ross. I was just messaging a person in our comments. I put a video out on Justin Ross, and we really like what we've been seeing from him. On training camp, the media has just been raving about Justin Ross. Now, he's not your prototypical Kansas City wide receiver. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and what I love about him is he runs very, very crisp and clean routes. Now, do you remember Andre Johnson, Coop?
Yeah,
He
for the
reminds me of
Texans.
Andre Johnson. Yes,
Oh,
for the Texans.
those are big
Just
shoes to fill
an
right
ab.
there.
I'm, now, yes, very big. And maybe I shouldn't put that on him, but his build, both Andre Johnson and Justin Ross are both 6'4". They're right around 220, but these guys are ripped. They're very fast. And what Andre Johnson, based his game on, I used to live in Houston for a number of years, so I followed the Texans. He was not the fastest wide receiver on the field, but he ran crisp routes, excellent routes, and he had outstanding hands. Hardly ever dropped a ball. And I think Justin Ross, I compare him to Andre Johnson. Again, maybe that's unfair, but that's just the first person I thought of when I started studying Justin Ross. I said, damn, he looks like Andre Johnson. Now, he has this one famous catch in training camp. Have you seen any on social media that went viral? Have you seen any Chief stuff going viral or no?
No, not recently.
All right, check this out. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So he basically is on a route. He breaks this dude's ankles, and then while the dude goes flying by, stumbling by, he stops in his route. The quarterback throws the ball, but he goes behind his shirt. He cleans his hands, and then catches the ball while the defender is flying by. It's just a
Oh,
phenomenal.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just a phenomenal. Let me see if I can get this going. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. All right, so look, I'm going to my. This is my YouTube channel, but let's go to YouTube here. Home. Now I'm gonna pull up my channel. I'll see if I can skip to it real quick, right? And I apologize, I should have had this ready. Here we go, Chief Studios. Please subscribe if you have not. Let me turn this off. Let's go to videos. Justin Ross right here. If you haven't seen this video, if you're viewing this, go watch this video. We put this out for basically breaks down Justin Ross, but I want to show you this route real quick. Here we go. Right. Okay. Check this out. You can see on StreamYard, Coop.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Let me turn this down. All right. So he has this phenomenal route.
Oh,
So look,
go
he's
give me see
going.
it.
He stops, cuts,
Oh
stops on a
my
dime. He
God.
wipes his hands clean
Wipe
and
his
then
hands
catches the
on the
ball.
towel. He grabbed the towel. Look, and wiped them. Oh my God.
I know. I saw this on replay and I was like, wait a second. Did he just wipe his hand? Did he just clean his hands? What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh
So
my God.
there's a lot of potential. He's got really good hands, as you can tell. We got some highlights here. He had a phenomenal one-handed catch in practice just the other day. So it's as we go. Here's the one-handed catch right there. So as we go throughout the year, we'll just keep a close eye on this receiving core because that's a huge. I just want to see how it plays out. We haven't really seen many of these guys play together, so that's a big deal. Now, another thing that's going to be on our watch list this year is the Chiefs defense. Now, what real quick before we get into Chiefs defense, and we'll try to get this show along. I'm not trying to make it too long, but where did the Ravens rank last year on defense? Do you know? I have no idea. That's what I'm
I have
asking.
no idea. We got to go to Google for that. I don't know if they. I don't know if they were top 10. I don't think so.
All right. Well, anyways, I'll go. If the Chiefs can, in my opinion, any great team, even with the Ravens, very similar to the Chiefs, if they can have a top 15 defense, if you can make it in the top half of the league, you're going to have a good year. As you know, if you get into a points shootout where you're just going back and forth with the other team, you can lose a lot of those games, right? You probably could win a bunch, but as you know, some of those are like college football. Whoever has the ball last is going to win. So if the Ravens and or the Chiefs can have a top, I don't know, half of the league defense, I think it'll do wonders and Chris Jones is holding out, which is a big anchor to the Chiefs defense. And let's briefly get into this because I also put another video out. I don't know how they're going to sign him to a new contract. And I say that because look at how much free cap space they have for this year. Now, they have the I looked it up. They have the lowest amount of cap space for this year. Now, in out of any team in the NFL, they are dead last. Yeah. So, can a contract get done? He said he doesn't want to be paid the highest paid. Basically said he would settle for like number 2 and number 3, but that's still what, I don't know, 27, 28 mil a year. He's getting paid about 20 something this year. So, like low 20s. But with only $500,000 in cap space, it doesn't really give you much room. Now, I know they can restructure contracts. A good GM can rework the numbers, but Mahomes has already restructured a couple times. Travis Kelce has already restructured a couple times. So unless they backload this contract, that's the only way I see it getting done. Are you familiar with Chris Jones?
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal defensive lineman, but as you know, they don't ever really get on highlights unless they have a sack or something. But
yeah,
he's a very, very good defensive lineman. He's probably, top 3, but he was the anchor of the defense. He's holding out. He's 29 years old, and we'll just have to see. I don't know. I'm kind of in the small percentage of fans that say basically call his bluff. If I was the GM, that's what I would do. You do want to pay him. You do want to make him happy. But again, and I'm purely saying that because I see they don't have any money. I don't have their books in front of me. If I could work it out, if I could find a way to backload the contract on year 3 or 4, I would do it. I would sign him. I wouldn't have any issues with it. But just looking at these numbers, and again, I don't know, how they got these numbers. So please excuse me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But going off these numbers, I would try to sign him in the offseason. But if I could make something work this year, I would do it. But we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So stay tuned. If you want more Chiefs information, stay tuned to the channel. We got tons of content coming out. Now, getting into some other topics before we end the show. There were a couple of interesting things that happened. Let's see. Let me get back into stream right now. I apologize. Okay. So check this out. We got Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara. Basically, can you tell us what happened real quick, Coop, while I pull this up?
Alvin Kamara, man. He last year, I believe the season before this one at the Pro Bowl, got into an incident with a fella in Las Vegas. They beat him up pretty bad, whooped his ass. I don't know what the charges that he accepted were, but I know he was suspended. So he's trying to go meet with Roger Goodell, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it says right here. Damn, so they beat that dude up pretty. I thought he just basically punched him or slapped him, but it was more than that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, supposedly like him and 3 other guys beat him up pretty bad.
God dang. Huh.
I think it was actually
it says his plea agreement. They got the video on TMZ?
I think they
Oh shit, it's right here. You see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Because I'm in Chrome. Alright, let's play it real quick.
Yeah, they whooped his ass in that hallway. Oh, stop cussing.
Damn. Yeah, they got on him for 10, 15 seconds there. But I mean, did the guy deserve it? I mean,
I don't know what led up to it, but a lot of these fans
that's one of those things. Right. And if he deserved it, then I don't have any punishment for Kamara. Like, I honestly don't. Some of these people are literally crazy. And look, I get it. you're not supposed to do that. I understand. But some of these people just, they talk about your wife, your daughter, like some stuff, you have to be the bigger man and walk by. I understand there's a ton of money involved. Your career is on the line, but at least if you're going to do it, don't do it in a, where are they, a hotel or strip club or what?
I think they were at the
It says,
club.
in a brawl outside of a Las Vegas nightclub. Yeah. At least wait till you get outside, man.
Yeah, get off camera, man.
Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Be smart about it at least. I mean,
celebrities and athletes to realize that everything is on camera now, and it only hurts you because it's only one side of the story being told on camera.
Right. That's very true. So he has been suspended or no? Or I think he's meeting with Goodell to see his suspension. Is that right?
I think so.
Damn, he's got 30 hours community service and $105,000 fine for medical bills. Huh. Damn, so that guy, okay. Well,
so
I mean,
wonder
what,
if
a
the guy
game or
has
two?
action at a civil suit also.
It says Kamara also settled a civil case he was facing stemming from the altercation, which means he paid him off, but it doesn't, I don't think it says how much. I don't see any numbers here.
Undisclosed.
It just repeats the medical bills and stuff. Yeah, it's probably a couple $100,000 or $100,000,
get
something
like
like that.
$300,000 for getting beat up.
Damn, hope it was worth it.
Right. The medical bill. They said he got $100,000 in medical bills. So, God,
probably double that up or something.
I think his pride just was more so hurt than anything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll have to next week. We will give you all an update and see. There should be a suspension announced, and it may get appealed. It may not. Who knows? Depending on how long it is. But we'll keep you all updated on this one. Now, Jonathan Taylor is in a contract dispute. Now, we're not going to go into too much detail. I'm trying to get out of here. I know Coop is too. But we did want to mention these last couple of topics. Jonathan Taylor, the Indianapolis Colts running back, he's in a contract dispute with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, why does this make news? Because Jim Irsay has basically got caught saying that running backs ain't shit, basically, and he doesn't care. Right? Is that basically how it went?
That's how I'd interpret it.
Yeah. After reading his quote, it says, Irsay took a shot, saying Jonathan Taylor, the running back's holdout, is in bad faith, and he also says, quote, if I died, and now this is Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, says, quote, if I died tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. So he's basically saying, whatever. So
next man up attitude is crazy.
Basically,
to say that to a player, like,
yeah, you don't hear that too often. But you know what? Irsay? I think he's still on the pills. I think he's still taking all those painkillers. I think when you get all high on those, you get kind of you start to pop off at the mouth and stay loopy. You start to say all sorts of crazy stuff, and he's got to be. How many? Remember when Irsay got caught with like literally trash bags full of pills? Remember that? And like a suitcase with like $100,000 in it.
That's crazy. What was he? What he had?
No, check this out. It was super. I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but maybe we'll check this out. I'll pull the story for next week's show. But just to give you a brief synopsis, he was seeing his side chick, and his side chick had a drug dealer. Basically, and now, I may be saying this completely wrong because it's been like 10 years since I've heard it, but I know it was some crazy stuff. So he was seeing a side chick. Her side chick had a drug dealer. One of those two died. Now, it wasn't from this incident, or maybe it was. I'm going to look into it. So that'll give some people returning, because we will give you the full breakdown. But story has it, he was seeing a side chick, and his side chick had a drug dealer. Now, he got pulled over coming home from his side chick's house, and he had, not shitting you, a briefcase full of like 100 racks, like $100,000 in a suitcase, like you see in the movies. You open it up, and it's like 100 grand. And he had literally a trash bag full of pills. So it had to have been thousands of pills. So somehow, some way, there was a drug transaction. He got caught. He did this big old, I'm sorry, maybe he went to rehab, BS. But I'm going to look into it and bring, it is a crazy story.
I was looking at the
Yes.
article just to give you a hint. He had Xanny, Ambien. Man, this guy, he was
All
wild.
sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
Wild.
I wonder how he got off.
Yes.
Good
And it
money
makes a
gets
lot of
you
sense
off.
now because, say that again?
I said, I guess that money gets you off.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, what did he make his money in? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up.
I don't. Most of the owners,
He
I
got
think I
a
know
net
most of the
worth of
background, but I don't
1.6
remember.
billion. Jesus, in 2014 he had a net worth of 1.6 billion.
You know what's he's had the team for so long. You know what's crazy? The Washington team just sold for $6 billion. So he basically bought the team probably for a few hundred million. I don't know, 10, 50, no, more than that, probably 20 years ago, and turned that
Probably less than
into,
that.
man, these NFL teams are something else. So he's basically saying running backs aren't shit. You know, we can dime a dozen. Should a owner say that? No. If you have, and I was just talking to Coop earlier, which this can roll us into our final topic, the running back position. I'm I'm not as abrasive as Ursay would say. Like I don't think that, but I wouldn't pay. I would. I wouldn't pay a top notch, unless it's a top notch running back, right? But even then, I would definitely sign him to a new contract. I don't know what he's asking for. That's the thing too. Is he asking to be the highest paid running back, or is he asking? It says the franchise tag is $10 million, $10.1 million. I don't know what he's asking. That's the other thing. What if he's asking for 13, 14, 15 million a year, like the running back in New York for the Giants? What's your take on the running back thing? Would you pay him?
I don't know, man, because you got basically the ideal running back is like Christian McCaffrey. Even Deebo Samuel is a running back. He just catches out the backfield, gets yak yards, right? And they do a lot more
Right.
than just run the ball. And we know running backs' career is kind of short, man. You probably get 5 to 8 seasons out of a running back. Like probably 5
Right.
good seasons. So when you got all that money tied up in the running back, like Ezekiel Elliott, who you gave a big contract and he underperformed for years after that big contract, it's kind of hard to want to pay all the running backs.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. And that Ezekiel Elliott contract is my big standout for why I have this position, because he played so good, and he was a very, very good player. But as soon as he signed his name on that dotted line, it's like he was playing so hard for that money, and then once he signed that contract, he just, kind of it didn't seem like he put 100% effort into football. You know what I'm saying? And that would be not only that, but just the way the game is going. I mean, it's no secret to you and I, to anybody. The game is just throwing more. Now, can you get a really good running back / wide receiver, or a running back that can catch out of the field, is what I meant. Like you said, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, they've been, with their New Orleans offense when they had Drew Brees, sling it out to Kamara. Unless you have a running back like that, I'm not shelling out big money. A
Uh,
traditional running back like a Emmitt Smith,
mm.
I would hesitate to pay.
um,
I pulled up the. Go ahead.
Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. No, Derrick Henry. There's a lot of guys that want their money right now. I think it's like four big running backs that take Ezekiel
Yep.
Elliott off, and they're all arguing to get their money. I understand that they put in work on those teams, so they should be paid, but I don't know what that number should be. Like, are we going big or are we going mid level with a running back?
Right. And that's a perfect example for the Giants. I pulled up the salaries for the highest paid running backs, and the first few of them make perfect. Or actually, I got maybe Christian McCaffrey is the highest paid at 16 million per year. I understand that. I actually think he's worth it. He's a phenomenal player. Kamara is a second at 15 mil. You got Derrick Henry at 12.5. He's the outlier when it comes to the old traditional running back. He is phenomenal. And you got
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, very good running back. And then you got Aaron Jones at 11.5. So the highest paid running backs go anywhere from 11 to 16 mil a year. So it'll be interesting to see. None of these teams want to shell out a lot of money for these running backs, even if they're outstanding talents. So I think what's going to have to happen is there's going to have to be some injuries in training camp. Some teams are going to have to get desperate. And then, the teams will call some of these guys that don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. And it'll just have to play itself out.
Hey man, all the kids
So
out there, you might want to become more versed than just a running back. Learn how to catch the ball too, because they're not getting
yeah, that's
paid in the
right.
future.
Yep. Work on catching.
Yeah.
Definitely. What other position if you couldn't play running back, right? Because the running backs they got a certain build. Oh, one last question. We'll get out of here. They have a certain build. What position would correlate best with like if a running back could not play the running back position anymore? He said, "Screw it. I'm done playing the running back. I want to be a linebacker or a strong." That's a good one. Strong safety may be the best one. What do you
Strong
think the other
safety.
position would be? Strong safety, right?
If he couldn't catch, he would
Because you,
change the side of the ball, probably safety. If he couldn't
yeah, that's
catch
what I'm
and
thinking.
stuff, they're phenomenal blockers also too. So,
Yes,
but if you can't catch, I can't
you
give you
know
a tight end.
exactly. What about the fullback position? That's gone, right? I think
It's
the
kind of
last
dead.
fullback position, honestly, for the Chiefs fans that know, they had a fullback position on their roster last year, and I'm going to look that up for next week's episode. I do not believe there is there a fullback on the roster of any team?
I don't think so. I don't even think they
I
run
have
out
no
of like
idea.
I formation sets anymore, man. It's all like
I know,
single back, or like some flex type offenses. I don't think the fullback
right?
position is a thing at all.
Wow. I just yeah. Well, I'll look that up
Because I
for
think
next
they
week's
took that
episode. But yeah,
that fullback out and added another tight end or another receiver for more passing.
right. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I can remember those running back. I mean, the fullbacks when the 49ers and Cowboys were. You remember what's
Lorenzo
his name? Was it
Neal,
Jay Novacek? Who?
yeah. Lorenzo
There were
Neal.
some famous ones.
What's the guy name from the Bucks, man? I can't think of his
Oh, the
name.
dude. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Had that big ass neck or that neck roll or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the back of his helmet. Yeah, that's one position that I guess most of those guys had to switch to linebacker or something. I'm assuming that's their probably the best position they could move to. But Well, we're going to get out of here, guys. It's been I told Coop at the beginning, I was like, probably be 30 minutes, maybe, an hour. And I looked down at my clock. I'm like, holy shit. So we're
Hey, I
way
text
over.
you backstage at 15 minutes, and I'm like, 30 minutes, right? But
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, yeah, 30 minutes. And I look at my clock. I'm like, oh my God. All right.
time
So
fly when you're having
as
good
training,
conversation.
that's right. That's exactly right. So this is just our first episode. So we're going to get rolling as the season goes on. But I promise everybody we're going to get more structured. That's kind of what I've been telling people, Coop, is that I'm new to live stream or doing this type of content. I can upload and edit videos and put them on YouTube really good, but we're getting our structure. We're getting our foundation more intact as with the season comes, and by week 1 we'll be ready to roll. So bear with us, but we appreciate y'all for joining us. I do have 2 sponsors for y'all that shame on me, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show. We do have the iPhone Unlock Academy. If you want to unlock iPhones like the pros, iPhone Unlock Academy can teach you how to unlock any iPhone, any MacBook, any iPad, anywhere around the world. The day is gone where you have to have the phone in front of you and you got to plug it in and you got to unlock it. No. Now we can unlock any phone. In India, you can unlock a phone. In China, you can unlock a phone. All you got to have is the IMEI number. They will show you how to do everything. If you go to esimstudios.com, they have the iPhone Unlock Academy there. More information on the website, esimstudios.com. And Mint Mobile. Thank you, Mint Mobile. $15 a month. Get you unlimited data, unlimited talk, unlimited text for $15 a month. Now, the best part is not only the price, because that's pretty low, but it runs on the T-Mobile network, meaning you're going to get nationwide coverage. You're not going to have drop calls. You're not going to have slow data. It's awesome. How do I know? I have it on my phone. So I know Mint Mobile's awesome. $15 a month, unlimited everything. The link is in the description box. Coop, thank you for joining me today. We will hit them next week. As I mentioned earlier, he has a YouTube show, Podcast About Nothing. We're going to put the link in the description as well. Thank you for joining me today, brother.
Hey, no problem, man. Meet us at the bank.
That's right. All right, we'll see y'all next week. And what team do you want? Do you want to You want to give a hint? What team you want to do next week?
I think we can get the Niners on
49ers?
Yeah.
Let's do the Niners. Cool. So we'll do Chiefs news next week on our weekly NFL trip. We'll have the 49ers and we'll have a fan from them come explain to see what's going on through their camp and this upcoming season. So we appreciate all y'all for joining us. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you have not, and we will check you next time. Peace out, guys.